Boris Johnson promised it would never happen, so too did Michael Gove. The vaccines minister, Nadhim Zahawi, even told me they were discriminatory and wrong. But very sadly, today, those reassurances have been revealed as a big fat fraud. Vaccine passports are on their way. The UK is truly morphing into a biosecurity state where entry to a nightclub or a concert will be dependent on showing your health papers to confirm your vaccination status. This is all about coercion, trying to force young folk with an incredibly low risk of suffering any serious illness from COVID to be jabbed. Doesn't matter if you've got natural immunity or can prove your COVID negative status via a PCR test. From the end of September, Boris Johnson says the government reserves the right to go towards a system of mandatory vaccine passports before any young person can buy a drink at a nightclub or go to see their favourite artist perform live. Here's how Boris Johnson, who once called himself a libertarian, tried to justify it today.
We've got to make sure that we allow that younger generation to bounce back as quickly and as fast as we possibly can. I think one thing that would really help would be if we can continue to reduce the time that we're all living under this pandemic, and the best way to do that is if we all get vaccinated as fast as possible. And the offer is there. By today, July the 19th, everybody has had an offer over 18 to get a vaccine. 3 million of the 18 to 30-year-old group have yet to take it up. All we're saying is, come on, folks, this is it. You won't regret it.
But government sources have today confirmed it's a done deal on vaccine passports. The only thing to stop this now is for us to stand up against what's happening. This was meant to be Freedom Day. We were meant to be celebrating after 18 miserable months. Instead, the government announces vaccine passports are on the way. That's proof we will no longer be a free society. There are so many unanswered questions here. How will the government force nightclubs and venues to start checking the health papers of their customers? What about the fact we'll be immediately creating a two-tier society, given vaccine hesitancy remains most high in ethnic minority groups? How will that fit with the government's levelling up message? We are now on the slippery slope, folks. This has gone too far. Ironically, Freedom Day will now be synonymous with the government taking even more freedoms away. Can that slime-ball Prince Harry and his truly awful wife, Meghan Markle, stoop any lower? Surely, I thought, there's nothing more revolting they can do than pressing ahead with a grubby tell-all interview about the royal family as Harry's grandfather, Prince Philip, lies dying in hospital. Turns out there is. Breaking tonight is the news that Prince Harry is writing a tell-all autobiography about the royal family. He's been plotting this for the past year with a ghostwriter called J.R. Moringa, and this book will no doubt aim to settle many scores against his relatives, especially Prince William and Prince Charles and the royal institution. Of course, what's most shameful is the fact Harry writes this tome knowing that his brother and his father cannot fight back. It's the first time a senior royal has done anything like this, and Harry is revelling in that fact. In a press release trumpeting the book deal, he says, "I'm writing this not as the prince I was born, but as the man I have become. I've worn many hats over the years, both literally and figuratively, and my hope is that in telling my story, the highs and lows, the mistakes, the lessons learned, I can help show that no matter where we come from, we have more in common than we think. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to share what I've learned over the course of my life so far and excited for people to read a first-hand account of my life that's accurate and wholly truthful." Well, I'll tell you what's wholly truthful. Harry being so hell-bent on revenge that he intends to reveal all, like some sort of tacky Hollywood star. I know it goes against her grandmotherly instincts, but the Queen really must strip Harry of his HRH status now, today, because he's pushed it too far this time. The government's Test and Trace app is wreaking havoc across the country. And now we've learned it's killing off the already decimated West End, one of Britain's greatest exports. The brilliant Andrew Lloyd Webber announced today he has made the decision to shut down his new production of Cinderella, something he's pumped millions of pounds into. And he made that decision, really tragically, just hours before it was due to open, because the ridiculous COVID rules have just made it too hard. In a heartbreaking statement, he announced Freedom Day has turned into Closure Day. Lloyd Webber went on to explain that a rigorous testing system had seen one positive COVID case, but every other staff member backstage tested negative. However, Lloyd Webber explained, despite this, the impossible conditions created by the blunt instrument that is the government's isolation guidance mean we cannot continue. We have been forced into a devastating decision which will affect the lives and livelihoods of hundreds of people and disappoint the thousands who have booked to see the show. The arts and entertainment industry is not being taken seriously by this government. It's not just some little extra. This is an important, a critical part of our culture and part of who we are. Something's got to be done, or the curtain will come down on the West End for good. And seeing everyone loves talking about GBNews at the moment, let me share some news about our new channel, which I'm so happy and so grateful you have been supporting. From this Friday, my friend and my former Talk Radio colleague, the brilliant Mark Dolan, will be joining the Tonight Live franchise. So I'm going to be here at 9 p.m. Monday to Thursday, and then Mark will see you through Friday to Sunday. Mark is just perfect for this show. He's opinionated, he's funny, and he is so ready to shake up broadcasting in this country. So I could not think of a better person for the job. And Mark will be here with me on Thursday night to talk about his fascinating life and journey from Balls of Steel to GBNews. And let me tell you, he's certainly going to need balls of steel to take all of this on. But I'm so glad that he has.